Hello, darling thrivers, to Thriver TV, the channel where not only do you learn about the narcissist and narcissistic abuse, but how to heal for real and take your soul, sanity, and life back bigger and better than ever before. Today, I want to share with you some of the vital information regarding how to protect yourself when the narcissist tries to punish you, how to disarm them completely and be able to thwart any of their malicious attempts. But before I get started, I just want to remind those of you, if you haven't yet subscribed, in order to receive all of my new videos, join me in my live events and question and answer times, and find out what this Thriver Healing community is up to, please hit the subscriber button and the notification bell. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you today is completely counterintuitive to what you might have thought, but I promise you it really, really works. So to get started, we're going to look at why do narcissists cruelly punish people, because I want you to have a really solid understanding of why a narcissist would punish you. Usually they're going to do this because they get irrationally triggered as a result of their inner, terribly insecure emotional landscape. Because the narcissist is a false self, and what that means is he or she is divorced from their true self because they've deemed it irrelevant and incapable of getting their own needs met. And they've squashed it and pushed it down and positioned an egoic false creation in its place. Now, what is the false self? The false self truly is this monstrous creation. It constantly needs acclaim, attention, significance, and notoriety in order to maintain itself. As far as the false self is concerned, enough is never enough. It has insatiable expectations. It needs attention a certain way. It needs acclaim a certain way. It means that you must serve it specifically in order to grant it exactly what it wants. And the goalposts are forever shifting, which means that the way you appeased the narcissist's false self yesterday may be completely inappropriate according to the narcissist tomorrow, or maybe even 5 minutes or half an hour later. And really, this is the thing. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, no matter how many times you try to twist yourself into a pretzel, or the shape of one anyway, to try to keep this person happy. This incessantly insecure, highly demanding, conditional ego structure that is controlling the narcissist lashes out on a hairline trigger. How dare you not serve me the way I demand you to? You are to blame. The narcissist believes that you're the reason why they feel so crappy, angry, and triggered, and anything and everything is not going right in their life. Therefore, you deserve to be punished. And once the false self is on this tangent, all rationale and consciousness goes out the window. And the narcissist will seek retribution against you in a variety of different ways that a normal, non-narcissistic and sane adult couldn't even comprehend, let alone execute. Okay, so now that you know the narcissist punishes, and it's actually not personal, it's just what they do. And they do it on a hairline trigger for no other reason than the imagined slights, criticisms, or betrayals that they believe you've committed. Let's switch gears now and let's talk about how you can handle this. As George Bernard Shaw once said, and I love this, he said, never wrestle with a pig. You just get dirty and the pig enjoys it. And this you need to understand about a narcissist. The way they get control over you and extract from you the bullets to put in the gun to fire at you is by hooking you into giving them narcissistic supply. What does this mean? Attention. So knowing that whatever they are doing to you has significantly emotionally affected you. And this is how it really goes. They attack you And then with their monstrous, immature, and distorted perceptions, and you fight back because it's ridiculous and it's abusive. And then your reaction gives them even more fuel for them to attack you for. Let me share with you what used to happen in my life, just as one of the many examples. The narcissist in my life was pathologically jealous. He would accuse me of all sorts of stuff regarding playing up and having affairs. And we'd be doing simple things like driving in the car, and he'd accuse me of looking out the window at somebody that I hadn't even seen while we were driving, or while we were shopping. He would accuse me of not holding his hand because I wanted other men to think that I was single. Or he would say that I was looking at other men in the bank when I didn't even notice there was somebody standing in the corner. And it got to the point that I just wanted to walk around looking at the ground and not even look up. And even then I would be accused of looking at somebody. At first, with this insane behaviour, I would try to do the loving thing and reassure him that of course he was the only man for me and I didn't have eyes for anybody else. But it didn't work at all. And then I would get angry and absolutely lose it and become an absolute raving mental mess in the frustration of it all. And then, of course, I was told that I had anger issues, or he would blame me for the argument because of my response and leave. And that triggered my abandonment issues when he'd walk out the door, go missing and switch off his phone. And then I'd be devastated, distraught, completely manic. And I would even beg for him to come back. It was beyond shocking. And I know you understand all of this because you've been through it. Back then, I didn't have the tools and the understandings that I do now, the ones that I'm going to share with you. As I was discussing with my Thrive Global member group a couple of weeks ago, I said to them, don't try to set a boundary from your wounds because it won't work. And this is because rather than being able to hold a position of your rights and truths and health, all you are going to get back is more punishment that is further going to rip apart your wounds, which is exactly what happened in the example I gave you. Now, of course, narcissists, as we know, can do the most shocking things to punish you, far and beyond things like that emotional abuse with accusations and nasty words, etc., like real life shocking things. Terrible things like take money out of your bank accounts or cut you off from money, do damage to your property, threaten you, replace you and wave new supply in your face, alienate your children from you, smear you and your reputation to community, family and friends, seek to destroy you with abuse by proxy, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And I promise you, like many of you, I experienced all of these things. And let's just get really real with this. The punishment that a narcissist can dish out is beyond horrifying. The trauma from it feels like a soul rape. These things are the gravest of betrayals that strike us right in the heart and the spirit of that and who we love and what is dear to us. The feeling you experience when being lined up and punished by a narcissist is not just unexplainable grief and trembling rage. It also activates your greatest terrors, fears, and a dread that is so impactful you may not know how you're going to survive it. These parts of ourselves that are highly triggered and activated are really important. I just want you to park that piece because it's vital and we're going to come back to it soon. It's key to how you deal with this. Okay, so before we get to that, grasp this. No matter what the narcissist does to you, no matter how disgusting, immoral, or insane, don't react. Because it's exactly what he or she wants. And it's going to put you in a spider web where they just wrap the web around you more and more and more, all the way to your demise. So why is it hard for us not to react? Let's talk about this. This is a really important part of this. Because what I'm about to tell you is probably the second most important thing you need to know about protecting yourself from a narcissist when they try to punish you. The most important part of it, I'm going to get to real soon. So make sure you stay and hang around for that. But this is also super important. Okay, and it's really hard not to react because, of course, you want a solution with this. You want the narcissist to get what they're doing, you want them to stop it, and you want them to care about you like they should. But you must understand that from a narcissist, there is no remorse, repair, or reform possible. The narcissist doesn't have any compassion or care for you. Not because you're not worth caring about, it's because this is a narcissist. As far as the narcissist is concerned, you denied or you purposely tried to thwart the false self. Therefore, it really does mean off with your head. You need to be punished. It doesn't matter what you say, what you plead, what sense you try to speak to the narcissist, what retaliation you try to have. Any deal is brokered firmly in the narcissist's favor where you are punished and you have to hand over more of your soul, rights, and your literal life force to them. There is no point you trying to reason with a narcissist. You can't talk sanity to insanity. You can't create order where there is pathological disorder. In fact, the more you try to control them, to try to get control back in your own life, the more you will end up out of control. Because the narcissist now has you on his or her hook. If you react, they can blame you, spin things, taunt you, make false promises, let you down even further, and set you up for even greater falls. It's all a part of their pathological disordered playbook, and it doesn't go any other way, ever. The narcissist is clever. They will try to use, hold, take, or threaten things or people that are very important to you to get you to hook back in with them. And that's where I went wrong in my previous narcissistic relationship. He did incredulous things, like stealing money out of my bank account, taking furniture, hiding it away in storage places, bursting into my workplace, stealing computers. And each and every time something disgusting happened, I hooked back in hard. I tried to reason with him. I handed over more rights and boundaries, and then I would end up taking the blame and the responsibility for his horrific behavior because I didn't want to lose these things. The truth was, I ended up losing everything anyway. And of course, by trying to reason with a narcissist and hang on to these things, I came a millimeter off completely losing my own soul. Thank goodness in my second narcissistic relationship, I'd woken up. And since then, I've even further healed and expanded myself. And I became able to help so many people globally now understand what to do when a narcissist is trying to punish you. And it starts with getting very, 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 can I say very enough, clear that you're not going to be able to reason with the narcissist. The narcissist does not want to stop what they're doing, and they don't want to do the right thing. In fact, that feels really nauseating to a narcissist because to their ego, that would be a horrific and horrible loss. There's no vindication in that for their false self. So you've got to handle this a completely different way, and it's not about fighting back and hooking in. Let's look at how you need to really fight back. All right, so now we are going to get into the most powerful way that not only can you stop a narcissist from punishing you, you will get the upper hand and win. And this starts by becoming anti-fear and anti-trigger. I'm going to explain it. And I really hope you understand by now that narcissistic abuse is a spiritual war. It's a battle between good and evil. And most of all, you are fighting for your psyche and your spirit. And if you haven't realized this yet, I really want you to keep your mind and heart open to this information, because probably or maybe nobody else is telling you this stuff. Narcissists are a no self. They're a false self. And like a vampire, the Walking Dead, who can't generate their own energy, they have to feed off your life force in order to even exist in their battle against you. Narcissists are parasitical. They are actually by themselves powerless. Think of the little man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz, or the emperor that has no clothes. Narcissists can only continue to punish you if they can trigger your fear and insecurities to use against you. And I know that this may have already happened and they already have things that they're holding over you. If you go in and try to fight for these things whilst you are triggered and traumatized, I promise you with all of my heart that you are only going to lose more. More stuff and more of yourself. Your true mission right now is to detach and do the dedicated inner work on yourself to wrestle your triggered, traumatized, energetic self back from the narcissist, get solid in your body, be released from your trauma, stand in your powerful, calm inner flame, and then deal. Absolutely, I improved my performance on this level with narcissist number 2. I let go of the trauma of his phony attacks by proxy. He made accusations to authorities to try to get me arrested, and I was able to show up clear and calm in my body, present real and straight facts, and his attempts to punish me got immediately overturned. And this was so different from my attempts to fight back with narcissist number 1. I'm going to tell you about Lisa, one of my beautiful clients. Lisa, right from the get-go, she was able to take her power back with a horrible narcissist. This is what happened to her. Her husband was a horrifically abusive man, and he set out to really punish her as much as possible. He kicked her out of the family home. He changed the locks. He poisoned their teenage children against her with lies and accusations. She only had the clothes on her back. He took all of the money out of the bank accounts and he blocked her from using the credit cards. And of course, she felt destroyed. A friend of hers put her onto my work and we got to work. And I told her that she needed to turn within and defeat him energetically within herself. And that's exactly what my work is about. And then as per quantum law, so within, so without, when she changed everything, everything could change. So Lisa, she detached from him and she turned fully inwards to tend to and heal herself. She worked really hard on my NARP, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Program, whilst in refuge at her mother's house to release everything that had triggered within her. The horrors, rage, despair, and the heartbreak all started to melt away. And what arose within Lisa was courage, tenacity, and a complete release from trying to get him to stop doing these things. She now knew it was up to her to put an end to this. With a renewed, empowered spark within her, Lisa found a lawyer pro bono and she went on the offense. She had evidence, she had facts, she was fearless, untriggered and unemotional, and she just walked her straight line. 3 months later, she was back in the family home. He was forced to move out and she had the children with her. He crumbled. He became useless in his defense. Now that Lisa was not reacting or responding to anything, he was trying, and she was simply standing in her power. And sometime later, He capitulated in a fair settlement and custody and barely put up a fight. Where there is light, there is no darkness. Where there is empowered integrity, shenanigans, falsehoods, and deception have no standing. As I said, this is a spiritual war, and when you reclaim your true self without fear and with solidly shifting out all the traumas and painful beliefs that the narcissist has activated within you, then the narcissist loses all ability to punish you. I can't tell you how many of these success stories we've had in our NARP community, more than we can count over the years. New ones come in every day. So like myself, Lisa, and so many others, if you've had enough of being throttled, defeated, and desecrated, and you want to stand up and take back your power against narcissists, then I would love to explain to you more about how you can do this. So to get a deeper understanding of what I'm talking about, please come join me in my free webinar. The link is now appearing on this video, or you can check it out in the show notes. So I really hope that this has helped. I look forward to your comments and your questions below. And until the next one, keep smiling, keep healing, keep thriving, because there is nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.